Hello YouTube, this is Eddie Marsh in Northeast Texas. For you guys that might be thinking about building a little cheese press that you could use for making good homemade cheese, I wanted to show you what I'd come up with just to give you some more inspiration as you search around the internet for different ideas. This specific press, if you look at it and compare notes, you'll see that it has a resemblance to the sturdy press, for which there are plans online, and it also is similar to pictures that I've seen of other Dutch presses. For weights, I'm using just water in bottles. I had planned to use a milk jug but didn't have one handy, and decided that this Hawaiian punch jug with the handle on it would work real well for that, so that's what I'm using. This whole thing was built from scrap wood that I had out in the garage. My only expense was for that bolt, 3 washers, and a wingnut that you can kind of see the back of in the middle of it. I built this in about a day and a half, and that finished that 2 days ago. And yesterday I made my first batch of cheddar cheese, so I'm about to take that out, and then I'll continue on with this. And here's the first block of cheddar cheese that I've made in this press. It looks good. I don't know what it'll taste like. We're going to have to age it for a while before we see, but I'm hopeful that it'll taste a lot like cheese when we get done with it. For catching away while the cheese is in the press, I just used a cake pan that I had on hand. This is a small cheese mold that I'd gotten online. It's just kind of a tube with holes in it and a follower for applying pressure to it. I wanted to get it elevated, though, some in the pan, so that when the whey runs off it wouldn't just be sitting in it. And what I came up with, again, just something easy to do, was that I had a piece of 1x6 out in the garage, and I cut off a 5-inch piece of it and put it in a Ziploc bag to keep it from contaminating anything, and that worked real well for me. Design-wise, I'd indicated that this has some similarities to the sturdy press. The main difference being the sturdy press is made out of 2x2s and 2x6s, I believe, whereas this is made of 1x2s and 1x4s. So consequently, this press ended up weighing about 8 pounds, whereas the sturdy press, I'm told, runs about 15 pounds. So I preferred to go with kind of a lighter solution, even though it might not be quite as fancy, as the sturdy plan is. The base of this this outside 1x2 was actually from another project. It was left over from a pigeon cage. It was a landing porch and folding door that I found in the garage. Took off the wire mesh, added the center support and the piece of plywood, and I had my base. The outside dimensions of this are 24 inches long and 18 inches wide. And so the 1x2s that you basically need 3 18-inch pieces, 2 for the sides and 1 for the plunger, 3 10.5-inch pieces of 1x2, and then a 28-inch long piece for the lever. And then the 1x4, this back one is 18 inches tall. The width of the 2 boards here, this one, or the length, is 10 inches on this one, and this is 10 3/4, and then this front board is 12 inches long. The hardest part of this for me was trying to accurately make these holes for the 1x2s to fit in, this one being the pivot point up here, and these 2 boards serving to line up like with the sturdy press to kind of keep the plunger from wandering too much. For weights, I've got 3 notches on top of the lever. There's a 2X, a 3X, and a 4X. So those are just estimates, though. I mean, I had thought about doing all the leverage math and all, but for me it was easier just to put a postal scale on the press and use a 1 pound bottle like these. If you take I found out that the bottles up to where they get big here weighs about 1 pound, and so I could hang 1 pound up there and try to see where the weight's doubled and tripled. So it was kind of a non-exacting science, because you also have all the friction and everything that can happen with these two pieces that are swiveling. So that's how I did it. I don't know if it's the best way or not. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me about them for more details. And that's it for the Cathey Press.